There it is, Cowboys fans, the signal we've all been waiting for. The Dallas Cowboys might be gearing up for a major shakeup. Trades are on the horizon, and the buzz around this team is starting to feel electric. This could be the moment that defines their season. We're not just talking about random rumors, we're talking about real moves that make sense, names that could actually be on the move, and the numbers behind why these trades could work. So, let's break it all down. Before we dive too deep though, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and of course, tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. We've got fresh NFL coverage and breaking Cowboys news coming your way every single day. Now, back to business. Patrick Walker recently reported that Jerry Jones confirmed the Cowboys are keeping their eyes open for any opportunity to improve. In his words, "We're continually looking, and yes, we will look to improve our team if we get the opportunity." As mid-season approaches, Jerry knows some struggling teams will start softening up for trades, preparing for the future while contenders look to load up for a run. The trade deadline is November 4th, and that timing couldn't be more perfect for Dallas. Take a look at their upcoming stretch: the Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, and Cardinals. 4 games, all winnable if the Cowboys play their cards right. Sure, the Commanders and Broncos might pose a challenge, but Dallas has a shot to silence those old demons and make a real statement before the deadline. If they handle business, they could be sitting around 6-1 by the time November rolls around. That's the kind of record that makes a team believe. And if Jerry Jones sees that window opening, don't be surprised if the Cowboys make a few bold moves to push for something special this year. Of course, a lot can change in a month, teams can rise, players can fall, and trade availability can shift overnight. But one thing's for sure, the Cowboys are right in the thick of it, and the next few weeks could decide whether they stay contenders or make a massive leap toward greatness. The Cincinnati Bengals are hanging on by a thread this season. After Joe Burrow went down, they made a desperate move, trading for Joe Flacco, in hopes of salvaging what's left of their playoff hopes. But while the Bengals are fighting to stay alive, a few other teams might soon be open for business, and that's where things get interesting for the Dallas Cowboys. There are several players who could be realistic trade targets for Dallas, and a few of these names are going to get fans genuinely excited. Let's start with one that fits the Cowboys' style perfectly: Browns cornerback Greg Newsome II. Now, if you remember, Newsome was a first-round pick in 2021, taken 26th overall by the Cleveland Browns. He's exactly the kind of player the Cowboys love to go after: young, talented, and with untapped upside. What makes him even more intriguing is that Cleveland has reportedly already explored trade discussions around him earlier this year. Newsome is an outside boundary corner who's played in one of the league's top defensive systems. While he hasn't been the central star of that defense, he's learned how to thrive within a structured, high-performing unit. That tells you he understands team defense, how communication, positioning, and discipline all work together to make a defense dominant. And here's where things get interesting: the Browns just made headlines by trading Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick to the Bengals in exchange for a 5th-rounder. With the November 4th trade deadline quickly approaching, Cleveland might not be done dealing. According to Pro Football Rumors and Fox Sports, both Greg Newsome II and tight end David Njoku are names to keep an eye on as potential trade candidates. Newsome has spent his entire career with the Browns, starting 47 of 59 games, including all 5 this season, and has recorded 3 interceptions in that span. He's still on his rookie contract, which makes him not only affordable but extremely attractive for a team like Dallas that values defensive versatility and youth. If the Browns are truly willing to move him, the Cowboys would be foolish not to make a call. Greg Newsome II has been at the center of trade rumors for months. Throughout the offseason, his name kept popping up, but no deal ever came together. Back in August, Newsome made it clear he wanted to stay in Cleveland for the long run. But the situation has shifted. The Browns lost Martin Emerson for the season, and Newsome's role has expanded out of necessity. Emerson had been playing over 95% of Cleveland's defensive snaps before going down, so Newsome's importance has naturally increased. Even so, there's a business side to all this. Newsome is set to become an unrestricted free agent next year, currently finishing out his fifth-year option. And for a team like Cleveland, which already has major money tied up in stars like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, it raises a real question: can they afford to keep paying top dollar across their defense? Newsome isn't the Browns' top corner, and that's not a knock on him, it's just the reality of playing alongside elite talent. But it does mean he could become expendable if the Browns decide to refresh their roster and free up some cap space. Earlier this year, Newsome even expressed frustration about being used in a rotational role instead of being a full-time starter. That competitive edge is exactly what makes him valuable, and it's also what could push him out of Cleveland. Now imagine this, Greg Newsome too in a Cowboys uniform. He could step right in and fill the void left by Trevon Diggs, whose athletic decline after injury has been hard to ignore. Newsome's youth, versatility, and hunger to prove himself would be a perfect fit in Dan Quinn's defense. And from a financial standpoint, it lines up. Newsome's next deal would likely land around $10 million per season, solid money for a proven, ascending cornerback. For Dallas, that's not overpaying. That's investing in a player who could help redefine their secondary. If this move ever happened, it wouldn't just be a smart trade, it could be the kind of spark that elevates the Cowboys' defense to championship caliber again. Greg Newsome too has already proven he can thrive in a strong defensive system. He's played alongside elite talent and under one of the league's sharpest defensive coordinators, learning how to execute disciplined, team-first football. That kind of experience is priceless, and it's part of what makes him so valuable. And here's the beauty of it, you could bring him in at a lower cost than Trevon Diggs. This isn't a cap-breaking move. If Dallas truly wants to reshape their secondary, this might be the perfect time to do it. Let's be honest, moving on from Trevon Diggs might not be as crazy as it sounds. If Dallas traded him, or even used him as part of a bigger deal, it could open the door for a more balanced, flexible secondary. Imagine this setup: Stephon Gilmore locking down one side, Greg Newsome two on the other, and Darren Bland sliding back into the slot, his most natural position, where he's consistently thrived. That trio would give the Cowboys one of the most complete cornerback units in the league. And with depth guys like Josh Butler and Kalen Carson behind them, that room suddenly looks a lot deeper, and a lot more dangerous. Even better, a move like that wouldn't destroy your salary cap. It's a smart, forward-thinking adjustment, the kind of move contenders make. Now, shifting gears a bit, there's another name drawing serious attention around the league. According to NFL.com, several teams are monitoring Seahawks cornerback Tariq Woolen as a potential trade target. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Garafolo all reported that Woolen's name is being watched closely ahead of the November 4th trade deadline. That's not speculation, that's real buzz coming from the league's top sources. Seattle appears open to making moves, especially with Devin Witherspoon now healthy and back in the lineup after missing 2 games. As a result, Woolen's playing time could start to decline, and that could make him available to the right suitor. And you already know, if the Cowboys are serious about stacking up their defense, they should absolutely be keeping tabs on Tariq Woolen. He's got size, speed, and elite athleticism, the kind of traits Dan Quinn loves to build around. Several teams around the league believe that Tariq Woolen, now in the final year of his rookie deal, could be attainable before the deadline. And here's what makes this even more intriguing: Woolen is a local guy, born in Fort Worth, Texas, just minutes away from AT&T Stadium. It almost feels like destiny, doesn't it? Woolen checks every box the Cowboys look for in an outside boundary corner: elite length, incredible speed, and proven production. Yes, he'd cost a bit more, but if Dallas were to move off Trevon Diggs' contract, Woolen could slide right into that salary slot, likely in the range of $16 to $18 million per season. That would give the Cowboys 2 premium-level corners without destroying their cap space, a smart balance between value and talent. Now let's not forget, Woolen burst onto the NFL scene in 2022 as a fifth-round pick and quickly became one of the biggest surprises of the season. He earned a Pro Bowl nod and tied for the NFL lead with 6 interceptions as a rookie. Since then, he's remained a key piece of Seattle's secondary. However, this year has been more turbulent. Early in the season, Woolen struggled, giving up a few big plays, including a 45-yard completion and a touchdown against the 49ers. His PFF grades have dipped, ranking near the bottom of the cornerback list. Now, I'll be honest, those grades don't always tell the full story. Anyone who's watched Woolen play knows the potential is still there. Sometimes analytics don't reflect what happens between the lines. But here's the good news, that lower perception could actually help the Cowboys. If his value drops, Dallas might be able to land him for a mid-round pick, maybe a third-rounder, instead of something steep. Considering the Cowboys currently have one of the largest cap spaces in the NFL, that's a move they can easily afford. Woolen's combination of athleticism, local ties, and upside makes him one of the most intriguing trade targets out there. If the Cowboys are serious about strengthening their defense for a deep playoff run, this could be the kind of under-the-radar move that changes everything. Tariq Woolen, this would be a money move. If the Cowboys are truly serious about chasing a Super Bowl this season, this is the kind of trade that shows it. Plug Woolen into Dan Quinn's system, and suddenly, you've got one of the most athletic secondaries in football. Picture this lineup: Stephon Gilmore and Tariq Woolen locking down the outside, Darren Bland patrolling the nickel spot, and Trevon Diggs providing depth as he works his way back. That's a rotation built for playoff football. Now, don't get me wrong, Diggs can stick around for this season, but let's be honest, this could be his last ride in Dallas. Once the year wraps up, the Cowboys could move on cleanly, no more guaranteed money owed, no financial hit. By next off-season, Dallas could easily reset their cornerback group around Woolen, Bland, and Gilmore, with depth pieces like Josh Butler, Kalen Carson, and Kyer Elam ready to step in. That's not just solid, that's elite-level depth. Woolen's youth, size, and upside make him the perfect fit for what the Cowboys are trying to build: fast, physical, and fearless. Out of all the names on the market, he might just be my favorite trade target this season. But Woolen isn't the only potential move drawing buzz. Around the league, another name is heating up: Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals. According to multiple league sources and executives quoted by Between the Hash Marks, the Cowboys have been mentioned as a team to watch if the Bengals decide to start selling pieces. Hendrickson, a proven pass rusher with elite production, could be on the move if Cincinnati slides into full rebuild mode, and Dallas might be one of the first to call. It's all speculation for now, but make no mistake, if the Cowboys want to make a serious playoff push, these are the kind of bold, win-now moves that could turn them from contenders into true championship threats. Let me just say this: I think everyone and their grandma would love to see Trey Hendrickson in a Cowboys uniform. He's already got 4 sacks this season, just about half a sack more than our own James Houston, but here's the crazy part: Hendrickson is the Bengals' defense right now. He's responsible for nearly 28% of their total pressures and about 40% of their sacks this year. That's wild. If Cincinnati ends up trading him, that would basically mean they're waving the white flag on the season. And honestly, let's hope that Joe Flacco experiment doesn't go too well over the next couple of weeks. If the Bengals keep losing, they might finally decide it's time to move Hendrickson, and the Cowboys should be one of the first teams in line to make that call. He could be exactly what the doctor ordered for this defense. Now, don't get me wrong, with Dorrance Armstrong and Jadeveon Clowney both playing solid football lately, and a few other guys starting to step up, I wouldn't say it's a desperate need. Still, if a player like Bradley Chubb from Miami or Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati becomes available, you've got to at least pick up the phone. But if I had to choose just one move for Dallas to make, only one, I'm taking Tariq Woolen every single time. 10 out of 10. No hesitation. Because that's not just a flashy move, that's a winning move. And more importantly, it's a realistic one. So, I'll throw it to you guys, backhand index pointing right. Which of these three players would you want to see the Cowboys go after the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if there's a legit trade rumor you want me to dig into, let me know down below. I'll make a video on it if enough of y'all hit that like button. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, love y'all. I see you calling, texting, paging, checking in on me.